Hello, fourth grade geographers. It's Mrs. Lamondo, and I am back with you for our third lesson of our geography unit today. So let's get to it. Let me share my screen with you. All right, today's lesson is all about features and types of maps. So let's take a minute just to look at this map and think about what you notice on it. Look all around, high and low. What do you see on this map? All right, let's talk about some of the features of this map. So perhaps you notice that there is a key or a legend on this map. A key or a legend of a map shows the symbols and colors used on the map and what each one means. On this map, we can see that a dark blue line is a country boundary, that a yellow square with a red square inside is a country capital, that a seaport looks like a little anchor. So it's really important when reading maps to look at the key or the legend so you know what all of the symbols on a map mean. Maybe you notice the scale of the map. Because maps cannot be drawn to size, a scale is used to show the actual distance between points on a map. For example, sometimes 1 inch is equivalent or equal to 1 mile. Maybe you noticed a compass rose. Sometimes maps have those. A compass rose shows the directions north, south, east, and west. Really important. Sometimes maps have a timestamp. That tells us when the map was made. This is super important because, as we will soon learn, things change over time. The map we were looking at was made in 2013. A map versus a globe. What's the difference? What do you notice about the line patterns on this map? What does this have to do with the shape of the Earth? Maybe you've seen a map like this before. Maybe you've noticed lines like this before. What do they mean? Different cultures have different points of view. This map is from an Asian perspective. Do you notice anything that looks a little different about this map? Perhaps you noticed that the United States of America is on the right side of this map. In maps in our classrooms that we see, typically the United States of America is on the left side. That's probably because we read from left to right. But remember, the world is round. So there is no starting point of the globe. So when you look at a map from a different culture, it may look different than maps we traditionally see here in the United States. Doesn't make it wrong. Maps can show us many different things. Sometimes we have a political map. That shows us the boundaries of countries and states. It typically includes capitals and cities. So when we think about that, boundaries of states and countries are human, right? We've made those boundaries. But sometimes we'll see physical things too. So on this map of Canada, we see some provinces. They don't call their states, they call them provinces. And those would be human boundaries. But then we also see some physical things like the Arctic Ocean that are natural in nature. Another type of map we might see is a physical map. They show the physical features of an area, including the mountains, lakes, rivers, deserts, etc. That's what ETC means, etc. and so on. Here we're typically just seeing physical features. So we're not going to see boundaries that people have made. Instead, we're going to see all the natural things on the map. Maps can still show us many different things. This is a population map. This shows where people live. So that's a human feature. If you look at this map of the United States of America, the darker color red is where more people live. The lighter color pink is where less people live. So I bet you can see pretty easily where more people live in the United States of America and where less live. Sometimes we use road maps. They show highways, roads, areas of interest, airports, etc. They're used for planning travel. These maps usually have human and physical features on them. And maybe you can see Nashua on here. I'm looking really close. Here we are, Nashua. A climate map is a super cool type of map. It gives information about the general climate and precipitation of an area. Remember, precipitation is any kind of liquid that falls from the sky. So it could be rain, it could be snow, it could be sleet. So if we look on this map, right, the areas that are red get way less rainfall, way less. And the higher up you go, the more they get. So we live in an area that has a good amount of rainfall on it. A resource map. I love this type of map. This is the type of map behind me in the classroom. A resource map shows the type of resources in an area. It shows human and physical features. So we can see here that down low is Europe, and we can see some of the things that they are known for there. Today, you're going to use a map of Yellowstone National Park and answer questions about it in Google Forms. Let's take a look at that now. I'm going to stop presenting for a second so I can show you the map. Let me just see. Oh my goodness, I didn't bring it up on my computer. No worries. It will be attached. Let's look at the Google form. So this is the Google form that you will have. Of course, you always want to answer your name. So on the map, you're going to find Madison and tell me which entrance is closest to it. You're going to tell me the park's largest lake, the one that's the biggest, Yellowstone or Shoshone. What is the Grand Loop? So you're going to find the Grand Loop and tell me, what is it? Which site won't I see if I travel east from Madison around the lower loop to Old Faithful Geyser? There's three of these are sites I would see if I traveled that. One of them isn't. Tell me which one it isn't. And Grant Village Visitor Center is on what side of Yellowstone Lake? So those are the questions that you will be answering today in Google Forms after looking at the map of Yellowstone Park that will be attached as well. That's all we have time for today. I hope you had a great day. I love talking about types of maps with you. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out to your teacher, Mr. Castor, Mrs. Palermo, or myself. I'll see you next time, geographers. Bye-bye.